Hello everyone, I'm Meghan Sullivan and welcome to my Xbox Series demo review for One Piece Odyssey, developed by Ilka and published by Bandai Namco for the PlayStation and Xbox consoles as well as PC. If you enjoyed this episode, please remember to like and subscribe and I'll keep bringing you more RPG goodness. Full disclosure, I am not a huge One Piece fan. I saw the first couple of story arcs years ago and definitely enjoyed what I saw, and I still occasionally catch a random episode on TV Japan and laugh myself silly, even though I have no idea what's going on. But other than that, I'm not well versed in this particular anime, so I'll be coming at this review from a bit of an outsider's perspective. And essentially the question I had going into this demo is, can non-anime fans, or at least those not overly familiar with One Piece, enjoy this game? And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say yes. You don't have to have encyclopedic knowledge of the franchise to enjoy this simple turn-based RPG featuring solid graphics, nice music, excellent voice acting, and plenty of laughs. But I admit knowing the series will probably help land some of the bigger story beats. From the start, this hour-long demo makes it clear we're dealing with a pretty simple and straightforward adventure. The story begins when the Straw Hat Pirates find themselves marooned on the mysterious island of Wofford, which turns out to be the location of a very valuable treasure. While looking for the treasure, and more importantly, Luffy's missing hat, the crew comes across Audio, a pistol-wielding inhabitant of the island, and the mysterious Lim, who has the ability to extract and scatter other people's memories, which is exactly what she does to the Straw Hats, whom she believes are dangerous pirates. Thus, the Straw Hats must not only find a way to repair their ship, the Thousand Sunny, so they can get off the island, but must also gather up all the memory cubes containing both flashbacks of their adventures and memories of how to use their devil fruit powers. It's not the most gripping narrative, but the story has only just begun, and even if it never deviates from this linear path, the amusing banter between the characters may charm players into overlooking the lack of depth. It worked on me so far. Speaking of linear paths, the game is full of them, literally. Traversing the island looking for memory cubes is less about making lateral moves and more about verticality, which I actually like because it provides the developer with a good excuse to make exploration a little more fun. Instead of just walking forwards and backwards, Luffy can run, jump, climb, and use his gummy arms to swing through the air. And he's not the only character with special field skills. Zoro, for example, can use his swords to cut a path through rocks and boulders, which is rather useful. And I like how using field skills can reveal things like hidden paths and tucked away treasure. It's not the most groundbreaking mechanic ever, but it definitely helps alleviate some of the boredom of walking around looking for memory cubes while fighting off goofy-looking sapiens and other bizarre creatures found on the island. Which brings us to the combat system. Combat is the heart of One Piece Odyssey, and clearly the mechanics take their cues from RPGs like Dragon Quest and Fire Emblem. Each character and enemy have an elemental affinity that corresponds to either burn, freeze, or electrical spells. But on top of that, One Piece Odyssey also has a sort of rock, paper, scissors mechanic, where power-based attacks trump speed attacks trump technical attacks, and technical attacks are effective against power-based attacks. It's not unlike Fire Emblem's weapons triangle, and I like how the combat menu actually shows you which skills enemies are weak or resistant to, so you don't have to sit there and study the screen for minutes on end before choosing an attack. Now, normally I get bored watching attack animations play out, but each special skill for each character is pretty fun to watch, especially when you see the high amount of damage these attacks can do. I get a kick out of watching Luffy stretch out his arms while pummeling multiple enemies with his Gatling attack, and I love watching Zoro, always my personal favorite, taking down enemies weak to tech skills with his sword arts. Another thing I dig is how you can freely swap between characters and arrange their battle order however you want. This is a great way to take advantage of enemy positioning and weaknesses, which ends up being rather important since enemies are divided up into different zones, and different Straw Hat members may be dealing with different sets of enemies at the same time. I also like the addition known as dramatic encounters, which spice things up by introducing special combat scenarios that require a little more strategy than usual. It's a testament to how hard Ilka tried to ensure combat isn't always the same mundane affair. But even then, this is an RPG and can end up being a little bit of a grind, which is why I very much welcome the addition of AI mode in battle. Along with hitting fast forward to speed up combat, AI mode cuts down on the tedium of level grinding by having your team fight enemies without your input. So you can, multitask while playing the game, and I like that it works pretty well. Instead of just using normal physical attacks, the Straw Hats will also occasionally use their special skills, which makes AI-driven combat go a lot faster. Although, having said that, I did occasionally have to stop the action to throw out a health potion or two. But not very often, since encounters are fairly easy in One Piece Odyssey. Maybe too easy? At least for some people. Me, I didn't mind because not everything has to play like a Soulsborne title. I actually enjoy being able to steamroll my opponents, thank you very much. And hey, the demo is only the first hour or two of the game? So combat could definitely get a little more challenging down the line. And if it does, no worries. There are accessories available to the crew that will give them a nice stat boost, like higher defense or stronger attacks. Again, simple stuff, but I'm glad it's there. And I'm very glad that One Piece Odyssey has good graphics and music. The characters look really nice in 3D. I mean, goofy, but still nice. And I found myself humming along to one of the island tunes more than once. The real standout for me, though, is the voice acting. Yes, I know, One Piece has always had enjoyable voice acting, but the cast really goes all out here. Some of their deliveries legit made me laugh out loud. It's a funny show, and so far, the game is proving to be just as humorous. At any rate, I enjoyed my brief time with One Piece Odyssey. It's not something I'll rush out and get right away, but I think it might be worth getting on Game Pass or during a Steam sale. It's a charming little RPG with good graphics, nice music, and excellent voice acting. So even if you're not a One Piece aficionado or a fan of anime in general, you still might get a kick out of this game. It's just mindless fun. And honestly, what more could you ask for? Have you played the demo? What did you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you later.